Hello and welcome once again to Akosia's vlog. If you're new here, kindly subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell when you're done. Do you know you can prepare bean stew from Abenkwan or PALMNUT soup? In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to prepare this delicious and yet simple recipe from scratch. This stew is indigenous to the Akan tribe in Ghana, and because of how delicious it is, the Ashantis call it Atedua Foowaa. Yes, a lot of people do not know the difference between the normal bean stew and this traditional way of preparing it. Apomuwe so when is cow the base stew for Nasa wa Abenkwan Ateagyaa sokra na wobetimi di aye. I would also leave the link on how we prepared our PALMNUT soup in the description box, so do check it out. First, you need your red beans, your palm oil which has been scooped from PALMNUT soup, salt to taste, your dried herrings or Amane, Ateagyaa, and your PALMNUT soup. To begin with, we are going to wash our beans with water. Make sure to remove all the gravels before you wash it, or you might bite into one when eating it and it won't be pleasant for you. For this particular recipe, we need the red one. So after it's been washed, I'm going to transfer it into my saucepan, add enough water and bring it to a boil. I'm not going to add any baking soda, baking powder, or to it. I'm going to allow it to cook on its own till it becomes soft. This particular stew is indigenous and not a lot of people know about this traditional way of preparing your bean stew. So after a while, I'll come and check up on it and then press a little to see if it's well done before taking it out of the fire. Remember, I didn't also add salt to this one. If you add salt, it makes the cooking process long and we don't want that. And that's it, Diano crown person song, so one beans. Now the enchinidi can gumu and sana one, and today be anoa, my name bene and sana. Ode and chine egum. Now after some time, or when I checked and it was done, I'm going to add my salt to it. If you don't know how to salt your food, please do it little at a time. You taste before you add it, or you can omit adding salt at this stage till you are done with all the stew before you taste for salt and add accordingly. Take it off the fire when it's done. Another saucepan, pour your leftover Abenkwan into it. You know, Abenkwan always tastes great after the day you prepare it. So trust me, this stew will be so delicious and your whole family would always be craving for more. You can leave the meat inside or you can scoop it out. I prefer to scoop it out and then use my meat for garnishing or to use it for another thing altogether. Habomu we no a budget friendly. Uniska krana with my waya Abenkwan ni bia kan wedia maka ase no. Ateagyaa so na scent ni flavor ni nyina bemuji no. Now they are Atedua kama. Side using your leftover PALMNUT soup for this recipe, you can use the fresh one. Still we yana namo na ye ti ode Momone kakra ebetum na Amane flavor kese. There is no Ateagyaa stew without a fermented Momone or salted fish, so I added it to it. I'm going to add a little bit of water to unthicken the stew at this stage and allow the Momone to cook and add more flavor to our soup. I added extra water to unthicken my soup because for Abenkwan, the longer it stays, the thicker it becomes. So I did this and then I'm going to give it a quick stir to make sure that the salted or the fermented fish or Momone boils and then add or releases its juice and flavor into the soup. After, I'm going to add my Ateagyaa leaves to it. I'll be very grateful if you can tell me the English name of this particular leaves, should you know, and then we would continue with the process. Some also call it palm butter leaves. I don't know which is correct, so I'm going to cover it and I'll allow it to simmer for 5 to 7 minutes whilst blending my Amane too. This particular process is also optional, but then for those who do not like to see Amane in your soup, this is a better or great choice for you. You can blend it and add it directly into the soup. It also thickens it up, and then kids would also love to eat it. You know, herrings has a lot of bones in it, and it's not kid friendly at all. Yes, the kids won't like it when they see it in the soup. So always blend it and then add it to your soup. It serves the same purpose. Now it's cooking beautifully, so I'm going to add my dry herrings into it. Stir it and allow it to simmer on low heat. Ateagyaa bino se wode kan wabomu ho a enkanka se oye abomu a enwuwu ma emma ne hwasronko dedede kama bi na beans stew de ode kan wa na be bia wu ama. So when the leaves boil over, it's time to continue with the process. So we are going to add seasoning powder to it. This is homemade. Feel free to use any seasoning cube or powder of your choice. But remember to do everything in moderation. So after, we are going to add cooked beans to it at this stage, and then we'll continue with the process. Yeah, you can add all the beans at a go, or you can divide and then mash a little or a few into the stew to thicken it up, and then you are good to go. So what to say, yeka Ateagyaa de Abenkwan ene de ye nipa bebre ehun sunsune e da beans stew ye na ye che no ene de Abenkwan eye no ba ko ne fre na adua abomu de ye che enwo no ansana yaye no ana de Abenkwan eye no so ye fre na Atedua abomu. So there are differences between the two ways of preparing your bean stew. The other one that we fry palm oil, some tin tomatoes and other vegetables is what we call bean stew, and this particular one is a traditional way of preparing your bean stew. It's also a bean stew, but then we call it Ateagyaa in the Akan dialect or the Ashanti dialect. Now when you're done, it's time to be stirring it. Remember to be stirring it intermittently because it might start burning at the base of it and we won't like the flavor at all. Cover it on low heat while mashing the rest of the beans. So I divided it into 4 and I'm only mashing a quarter of it to thicken my soup or stew. Now I'm going to open it and add the remaining beans to it. Like I told you earlier, adding the mashed one is also optional, but then like you see here, it's watery. So I always want to mash a little bit of my beans into my bean stews to make it more creamier. Stir it and allow it to simmer on low heat for an additional 5 to 7 minutes. The aroma from the beans together with the momone and the Ateagyaa all mixed together in the PALMNUT soup is so heavenly. After, we are going to add our scooped oil from our PALMNUT soup in the Ateagyaa stew. You can use the normal palm oil at this stage if you don't have the oil scooped from the PALMNUT soup. Always remember that for Ateagyaa stew, we recommend using the red beans, though you can also use your black-eyed beans, which is the white one if that's what you prefer, and trust me, you would love the outcome too. Remember to scoop the outer part of your saucepan whenever you are cooking any type of dish to make it more presentable and neat too. And also remember that for this particular type of food, we use the scooped palm oil on top of our PALMNUT soup. Yes, Ateagyaa de yede nwona yesa no Abenkwan so na yede ye intino na amanisha shonko kama. Now after 3 minutes is done, so I'm going to eat mine with rice. You can eat yours with bread, you can eat it with ampesi, gari, red plantains or ripe plantains. You can eat it with banku kenke or any meal of your choice. You can even eat it like it is without adding anything to it too. And trust me, you would love it. Thank you, lovely people, for watching my video. Don't forget to comment, like, share me out to your family and friends to become a part of this great family. Till we see each other next time, it's bye-bye.